The drinker finally watched K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm not sure if Gary watched it yet, but Critical Drinker watched it. And let's see what he has to say. It says K-pop Demon Hunters laughs at other animated movies. And it definitely is laughing, especially how much money is made and how much fan art we've gotten. And the fact that the Golden, Your Idol, and Soda Pop has reached like the fucking top 100 billboards. And the fact that you have Golden, a fake band, a fake what's it called again? What's it called again? I guess fictional band has beaten Charlie's Angels at the fucking billboards. It's crazy.
Never let it be said that I don't listen to my audience. And one of the things they've been saying very loudly over the past couple of weeks is, Drinker, you should watch K-pop Demon Hunters. It's positively bitching. Drinker, you're always complaining about a lack of good female leads. Well, K-pop Demon Hunters shows you how it should. Drinker, exactly the kind of thing.
This is so true. The thing is, like, I watched K-pop Demon Hunters probably like a week after it released, and this is before everyone started watching it, right? So I watched it probably like a week before like everyone else sort of jumping on. Like, I told Krista to watch it. Krista talked to someone else like Jay, and then Jay and what's it called again? Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers watched it, and then like it sort of just like it just spread. Right. So the thing is, a lot of people can potentially hype this movie up so much where they watch it, they're like, it's fine. It's not for me. Right.
You should be Hunters, or I'll find out where you drink. All right, fine, I'll watch it. Are you happy now?
2 hours later.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's go! We got him! We got him, boys! We got him! So, yeah. Worked. Let's go.
Okay, let me caveat that by saying that 40-year-old white guys from Scotland are probably not the target audience for this movie, and I'd be lying if I said this was the kind of thing I'm normally into, which is probably to its credit, really, because if even someone like me can watch it and be entertained, well, it must be doing something right. And thinking about it now, K-pop Demon Hunters actually does a lot of things right. Things that Hollywood seemed to have forgotten about 10 years ago, crafting a neat little narrative around a trio of goofy, likeable characters with a surprising amount of depth and complexity, a playful jab at the excesses and absurdities of K-pop music and the obsessive fan culture that surrounds it.
Like, I think a lot of people cannot get past the K-poppy music in the beginning. Like, I remember when I was talking to Jay, he said that when he first saw this, it's like, this clearly is a movie not made for me, right? It's like, if you didn't listen to K-pop, you don't care about what's called again, K-drama, you don't know the tropes, you don't know the I guess the lingos or whatever. Like, you really do not care about this kind of stuff, especially like this is geared towards girls, 100% geared towards girls and women who like K-pop and K-drama. And you have to get past that part where it caters to them, right? And the part that you get past that caters to them is like, I would say it's like maybe a third into the movie. It's because in the beginning, like I didn't really like care for this movie. I was watching it. I'm like, yeah, okay, the music is catchy, but like I like animation, so it's already like a plus. But overall, like I don't really care too much about the story until about a third into the movie, and then that's where I'm like, okay, it's getting interesting. But it took a third, me watching about a third into the movie for me to actually like hook me. It took a lot of people don't have time for that, right? A lot of people just don't care about that kind of stuff. And there's sometimes if you hype it up so much, people will be like, all right, I'll fucking watch it. And they're like, it's fine, right? I believe Moist Critical was like, it's fine. And we have someone like Anna, the Star Wars girl, who fucking hated it, right? She fucking hated it. But the thing is that people who are like, I just don't get it, right? And then some people just can't watch it. They just don't finish it. Look, I understand it's not for everyone, but overall, this movie is doing so well. It's making everything that's coming out of Disney, DreamWorks, look really, really bad, right? This is a Sony Animation Studio production, and it's distributed through Netflix. And it also was sent to the movie theaters like 2 weeks ago. So overall, this movie is doing really, really well. One of the most watched movies on Netflix of all time.
Modern exploration of Korean folklore and spirituality, brought home by impressively good animation and an annoyingly catchy soundtrack that sticks with you way longer than it should. Believe me, I know. It's not exactly deep or life-changing, and at times it glosses over stuff that probably needed a bit more screen time, but what it is a fun, charming little adventure that left me thinking, yeah, that was alright actually. So join me, my little soda pops, as I give you a rundown of the plots. The movie's set in Korea and centers around an ongoing war between demons trying to consume the souls of every human on Earth and the people fighting to keep them sealed away in the underworlds. They do this by creating a magical energy barrier called the Han Moon, which is maintained and strengthened by harnessing the collective goodwill and spiritual power of humanity through the power of song.
I actually like the fact that how they incorporated like was feudal, not, I wouldn't say feudal time, like period, like old like ancient Korean times and stuff like that, and how like all that sort of evolved during the decades. I think that's really cool. And of course, you know, back then, now you have like K-pop music and stuff like that. But I do like that.
Yeah, just stick with me on this. Each new generation sees the creation of 3 new demon hunters whose job it is to come together, inspire humanity through their music to strengthen the Han Moon, and kill the occasional demon who manages to sneak through gaps in the defenses. In this case, it all culminates in the present day with Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who've come together to form the K-pop group Huntrix, or Hunter X. Oh, fuck, I'm old. Anyway, Huntrix have become a worldwide sensation, selling out arenas and going on world tours. The girls are prepping for the release of their biggest song yet, Golden, which should in theory be enough to finally seal the rift between our world and the demon world forever. But
now here's the thing. Golden, Your Idol, Soda Pop, those are good songs. But they're fucking everywhere on Instagram. Every other video you scroll, you see, we're going up, up. It's like, I'll be your idol, keeping you in check. My little soda pop is like, oh my God, bro. I just want to see big titties and racist stuff on Instagram, man. I sort of don't want to watch these anymore. So yeah, it's just, it's getting a little annoying. Yo, Nurse Slap, thank you so much for the rain, man. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, shout out, dude. Hope you had a great stream, dude. Hope you had a great stream, dog.
then, oh no, lead singer Rumi starts to lose her singing voice. Whatever could be at play here? Well, it turns out that it's more than just a bad case of laryngitis. Young Rumi's actually been hiding a secret from her bandmates this whole time. She's actually half demon herself.
No way! Yes way!
And the demonic influence is becoming increasingly difficult for her to hide. Meanwhile, the demons themselves are getting a bit tired of all this shit and hatch a plan to destroy the Han Moon so that they can invade Earth in full force. Their plan is to send a bunch of hot young demons in human form to create a rival boy band called the Saja Boys that'll steal away Huntrix's fans, weaken the Han Moon until it finally collapses. Things are complicated when the leader of the Saja Boys falls in love with Rumi when he recognizes a kindred spirit in her. But when the two bands are pitched against each other in a televised competition being broadcast to the whole world, which side will ultimately emerge victorious? Now, what I'm describing probably sounds completely bonkers, because it is.
Yeah, like for people who are not in the thanks so much for the follow. Like for the people who are not in the what's it called again? The K-pop sphere, like you guys don't know what it is. Like for me, I didn't grow up with K-pop. I didn't get into K-pop until probably like 2000, I think probably 2010, 2009, 2010. I started listening to some K-pop music, and it didn't really blow up until Psy, until Gangnam Style in 2012. And then that's when I started listening to a bunch of K-pop. I started listening to Big Bang, 21, Girls' Generation, and like I started listening to a lot of Big Bang, and I'm like, I sort of know that kind of stuff, right? And then my wife, big K-pop fan, she listened to a bunch of K-pop stuff. So like I sort of know this, and plus I'm Asian, so sort of like a shoe-in. So, but the thing is, if you don't know any of this, it will take you a long time to actually consider watching this movies because you don't get it. And it's just like, I don't get why is it so popular? I don't get what's going on. Who the fuck is BTS? Who the fuck are they? Who the fuck are these people, right? So this movie is a culmination of that. And it's like, if you are very, very like inundated in like K-drama as well, like this is totally up your alley. But if you don't watch K-drama or listen to K-pop, you're probably not going to like this that much unless you actually watch past that 3/4 mark, which is, for me, like, I get the tropes, I get the music and stuff like that, but like for me, it didn't really hook me until like a quarter in. Not a quarter, a third in.
But part of the charm of K-pop Demon Hunters is that it knows how silly it is, and instead of backing away from it or trying to tone it all down to make its story more grounded, instead it just says, fuck it, and throws itself right in. It dares to have fun with its goofy premise,
yep,
and
it does.
Invites you to have fun too. Director Maggie Chang apparently wanted to tell a story that would fuse together ancient Korean mysticism and folklore with the ultra-modern K-pop of today, and if that's the case, then, well, mission accomplished, Miss Chang. The movie definitely takes a few swipes at the flashy, superficial, overproduced excesses of K-pop music, the manufactured stars and rivalries, the rabid fan bases, and the insane workloads, but for the most part, it all feels pretty good-natured and fun. I've talked a lot on this channel about the problems modern Hollywood seems to have with writing decent, well-rounded female characters who actually feel like human beings, either serving up boring, flawless, idealized fantasy figures who are never allowed to fail at anything, or brash, arrogant, abrasive girl bosses who bulldoze their way through everything and everyone around them. But
like, when I finished watching this movie, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a fun movie. I think the music is catchy. Like, even it's sort of Golden, Your Idol. I would say Golden for sure. It has the same energy as Let It Go. I remember after watching Let It Go in the theaters, that's a song that got stuck in my head. I'm like, that song is very, very fucking catchy. I'm still thinking about it. And same thing with Golden. Like after watching this movie, I like Golden was in my brain. I mean, it's like, holy shit. Like that song is good. Like I think Soda Pop is good. But I think Your Idol is better. But in terms of like that song, it has almost as much energy as Let It Go. I'm not sure if it's as big, but the fact that it reached #1 top Billboard is pretty damn crazy, right? It's pretty damn crazy. So I think that like having this movie being the #1 watched movie in the world that's on the Netflix platform is pretty damn commendable for the Korean I guess you would say genre. More people will be into it. Like there's a lot of guys that watch this, and there's a lot of girls, definitely a lot of girls that I know watch this one. So yeah, it's and Disney can only wish they I guess made something this popular, especially now, given the fact that day and age that Disney and Pixar has been sucking so much dicks.
But K-pop Demon Hunters does something almost unheard of in modern entertainment. It gives us a trio of female characters who are actually likable.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I know, I was just as surprised as you, but ignore the hyper-stylized visuals and you'll see that the Huntrix girls are a quirky, funny, and charmingly goofy group of friends, each with their own hang-ups and insecurities that gradually get exposed and tested in the course of the movie. Obviously, Rumi's the centerpiece of the group and the movie, but the other two play well off each other, and I love how the animators give them crazy anime-style facial expressions when they're super excited about something. On that subject, I should probably give a nod to the visuals here that lie somewhere between Arcane and Blue Eye Samurai in terms of style, fluidity, and detail. It's not
the thing is,
the most technically impressive animated movie you'll ever see, but it's
okay. I'll pause here. Probably better spot. So this one, it's 100% influenced by KDA. If you don't know what KDA is, it's basically a girl band that basically came from League of Legends. And KDA was a very, very big inspiration, and you can see it. like especially on how the music is and how the animation is very, very, very similar. And even the music styles are very similar. And of course, you have Sony Animation doing it, that people that did Into the Spider-Verse. It is better in terms of animation wise. It's very much better than Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse. Is because it's more fine-tuned. It's not as choppy. Now here's the thing. The Saja boys are animated on, I believe they're animated on 30s, and the girls, the Huntress, are animated on 24s. So it's the Saja boys are animated a little bit more smoothly, and it definitely shows, and it's good. It's in terms of and when it comes from animation, it's good. I like how wonky and animated some of the characters are, is because if you actually look at a lot of the even the I guess the live action like talk shows from Korea, like they do a lot of these like emotes and like pop-ups. It's sort of like anime and sort of like manga. They add that shit into like live action. So they add that here and they dial that shit up to 11, which is great.
Definitely got a style and character all of its own, and some of the musical numbers especially are fucking packed with energy and creativity. Beyond the superficial stuff though, I think there's some neat themes in this movie about the importance of personal acceptance, understanding differences and overcoming prejudice. Rumi's struggle against her demon heritage is a pretty obvious stand-in for anything from racial or sexual identity to social isolation or even body image. Whatever you care to project onto it, the film's message about coming to terms with our flaws and differences and accepting them as part of ourselves instead of trying to suppress or erase them is a pretty universal idea that works well enough in this context and generally doesn't come across as preachy or overbearing. Likewise,
and the thing is that this movie isn't woke. Like that's already like a big selling point for me, is that this movie is not woke. Now here's the thing: are there gay characters in this movie? Probably. We're not sure if any of the Saja boys are gay, but even though the fact they look very flashy, which is how the Korean boys would dress, like if you actually look at BTS, you look at the other band, I forgot, the one that Felix is in, and then you look at Big Bang. Like if you actually look at their hairstyles, they're very bright, very vibrant, very, very flashy, and potentially looks very gay. But that's the culture, right? That's the style. And if you compare that to stuff from here in the US, it's completely different. Completely it's just that you cannot relate to. It's like, what the fuck is this flashy ass shit, man? Like, I'm not used to that kind of stuff. But if you watch and like if you listen to K-pop, you watch the actual music videos, like you're like, oh wow, yeah, this is completely different. Why they're wearing pink? Why they're wearing like bright fluorescent colors? Like, the fuck is this shit, right? So some people can't get past that, and they won't give this movie a chance. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, the thing is, it took Jay a couple tries to finish this movie, is because he thought this movie was gay.
Jinu's an interesting antagonist with more depth to his character than you might expect, and a few revelations about his backstory that reframe him in different contexts throughout the story. In other words, he's not 100% evil, but you can definitely understand why he is who he is, and to some extent how demons come to exist in Korean folklore. They're less the evil monsters that we imagine over here in the West, and more like flawed spirits haunted by guilt and shame. It's one of those weird little things that's hard to define objectively, but I think sometimes you can just feel when a movie was made with good intentions instead of the writer projecting all of their personal hang-ups and petty grudges onto the screenplay, and K-pop Demon Hunters is definitely in the former category. If I had to single out any flaws in this movie, I'd say that some characters and narrative elements aren't all that well fleshed out. Like Celine, the girl's
100%. I think Celine needs to be fleshed out more. Rumi's parents, I would say they will probably address this in part 2. I think you'll get more fleshing out from Celine and Rumi's parents with the whole demon world, and you're probably gonna get more fleshed out storylines for Zoe and Mira. It's because Zoe and Mira sort of takes a back seat in this one, and they don't really. The main character is Rumi, right? But even singing wise, was how it's done. You get what's it called again? What's the other one? This is what it sounds like, and Takedown, like all the other songs that the other girls sing, they're singing like 30% of the time. Rumi's singing 60% of the time. So we need, I think if they are gonna make part 2, it's already said, they need to focus more on Celine, Rumi's parents, Mira, and Zoe. I think that would be really cool because I want more screen time for the other 2 girls.
trainer and a former hunter herself who doesn't get much in the way of backstory or explanation. She's just kind of there, dropped into the narrative whenever it's convenient and then forgotten when it's not.
Yeah, so what's it called again? Rumi's mom died. Like, the story is Rumi's half demon. Her mom is human. Her dad is a demon. We don't know who her dad is. Her mom died. So the caretaker of the Hone Moon and I guess the female singing group, Huntrix, is the caretaker is Celine. And Celine acts as a mother figure to Rumi since she doesn't have a mom and her dad, we're not sure. So I think they're going to probably expand on that in part 2.
Likewise, Rumi losing her voice and grappling with the demonic influence taking over her is a pretty major plot point for most of the movie, but I'm not sure I completely understand how it gets resolved. It just kind of goes away because the plot needs things to get moving along. I guess it's kind of implied that her relationship with Jinu helps her come to terms with who she is and make peace with it rather than struggling against it. But again, I'm not sure what that means for her character going forwards. Is she just like a good demon now who never has to worry about falling to the dark side again, or what? Nah, whatever. You're probably looking at the wrong guy to be understanding the finer points of Korean mysticism. All this is kind of just nitpicking though, and it shouldn't detract from what is for the most part a pretty enjoyable movie. I can't quite believe I'm saying this, but I had a lot of fun with K-pop Demon Hunters. It's definitely not my usual genre, and I'm guessing a lot of people watching this video either won't care or might be actively repelled by the visuals and the hype.
Yeah, exactly. I think there are a lot of people who are actively going to go out of their way. Said, I'm not going to watch this bullshit, right? This is not for me, right? And the fact that this movie and how sensational the music is and how popular it is everywhere makes people who don't like it already hate this movie even more. They hate the thought of the fact that this movie is one of the most popular animated movies that came out in the past couple years, right? Is one of the most overhyped things. In my opinion, is overhyped? Maybe a little bit, right? But I watched it before the hype started. So I was like an early adopter because I watched it with my wife. My wife really wanted to watch this movie. So the thing is, people are just gonna actively hate this movie, it's like, fuck this movie, right? Movie's stupid. It's so gay.
Hyper energetic pop music. But all I'll say to that is that if you can look past the superficials, well, there's actually a decent little story to be enjoyed here. And if you're able to go into it with an open mind, well, you might find a bit more here than you expected. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah, I had a feeling Critical Drinker was either gonna say it was pretty good, it was okay, but I didn't think that he was gonna say I actually enjoyed it, right? That, like, the thing is, sometimes there are some movies that you need to watch multiple times and you'll still hate it, right? It doesn't matter. There's some movies where you're like, okay, I watched it, I don't get it, but I get why people liked it, right? But overall, I think that I'm glad that Drinker gave it a chance, but it is like, for me, when people said, oh, should I watch K-pop Demon Hunters? Like, I think it's fine, right? But yeah, it's I'm glad that he enjoyed it. Someone said that Gary tried to watch it, but he couldn't. It's understandable. It's very, very understandable. For me, I wanted to watch it to see what was because I see some, like, when I watched it the second week it came out, and people were like, oh yeah, it's funny, right? It's a good, like, it's a good parody to, like, it makes fun of, like, the Korean aspect of, like, the fans, the music, how over the top it is, but also it's very self-aware, but it doesn't take itself too seriously at the same time. And yes, the music is very catchy, and it's like everywhere. It's all over Instagram and stuff like that. Everyone's doing dances, right? It's like, yeah, I can think of every drop I drink. It's like, bro, yes, I've seen the dances. I know how to do the dance. Just stop already, right? But yeah, it's like I said, I'm on Instagram. I want to see racist reels and big titty reels. I don't want to see K-pop Demon Hunter stuff anymore. But it is everywhere. But yeah, man, I'm glad he enjoyed it though. But there it is, another good video from Drinker. People can say that, hey, this is gay. Hey, that's, if you think it's gay, it might be gay. If you don't think it's gay, it might not be gay. Ooh, I don't know. But if you liked it, there it is. There's the video. Go and give it a like. I'm glad he liked it. But like I said, if he didn't like it, it's understandable. But I'm glad he did, though. I'm glad he did.